Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I started off explaining basically why I was making this video. And as you can see, it was pretty windy outside, so it pretty much ruined all my sound. So that's fine, I'm just recording this now after the fact and adding this voiceover later. So basically what I said is a lot of people are saying that the Ford 8N in my kind of introduction video to my new tractor, basically, they were saying that it was a tractor that couldn't do real work anymore. I think one guy specifically said it belongs in a museum. Another guy said that it might be okay for doing a little bit of drawbar work, but nothing really else. So I wanted to just kind of make a video showing some of the things that I do with it. Yes, this is an old farm tractor, and I'm mostly using it for like grading and dirt work, 3-point hitch dirt work. And so I'd like to be able to use it for some other things. I'd like to, set up a little farm with it, and that will come hopefully in the future. Do a little bit of farm work with it, but basically for right now, its main job is just moving dirt around, leveling things out, and just doing little jobs like that. So this first job here, I'm just hooking up the 5-foot grading blade that I picked up from Tractor Supply, and in this area I had a really good rainstorm come through, and it's right there next to my new shop, the Connex, and the little shed that I'm building. And when this rainstorm came through, it just filled the whole area with puddles, and I had a muddy mess here basically. And so I ended up using the box blade, which this was not on film or anything like that, but I ended up using the box blade, pulling in some more dirt to give the water a little bit different places to run, other than right in front of the shed I'm building and right in front of my Connex. And it actually worked pretty good because we got a little bit of rain shortly after this. And anyway, so that's not what it's about, but basically I had already brought in some dirt with the box blade, and now I was just smoothing it out a little bit using the grading blade a few days after the fact. So that's basically what I'm doing here, and it does a decent job at grading. Where it doesn't do so well probably has a lot more to do with me learning how to operate it than any problem with the tractor or the grading blade itself. So that was just a quick little job for it, but I've got a little bit bigger job here out in front of my parents' house. Every time there's a rainstorm, and you can't quite see how good this hill is because cameras do a really good job of flattening out hills, but there's a pretty good little hill here, and every single time it rains, all the water runs down off of the even larger hill up behind their house, and it just washes out the dirt right in front of their house. And so they used to have to call the town in all the time, but recently I've just been fixing it every time we get a good rain, and it washes the road out a little bit. I'll just bring the grading blade through and fix the road real quick. So this is a decent little job for it. It does a great job doing this. Obviously there's not a ton of material behind the blade, and it's filling in the holes and everything, so this tractor has absolutely no problem pulling it. But yeah, I think the 8N does a pretty good job of grading work. So I just took this video real quick just to give you an idea of how the water runs and where it runs, which is right around this berm and then down the road, just to give you an idea of what I was actually fixing, because I didn't do a good job of showing you that beforehand. But yeah, so that's job well done. The tractor fixed it, the grading blade fixed it, and it was a pretty quick, simple little job. So for the third and probably the biggest job that I did in this video with the tractor is smoothing out one of the areas of the hill. Not just smoothing out, actually just leveling out and flattening out one of the parts of the hill in my parents' backyard where we put the swing set, the playhouse, the sandbox, just a whole bunch of little kid stuff. And so basically we just had to move the higher side of the hill, to the lower side of the hill and then kind of flatten it out and smooth it out the best we could. And so we use this box blade. It's a 600-pound box blade made by Frontier, which you commonly see on John Deere equipment. At least that's where I've commonly seen these Frontier 3-point attachments used with. This did go with my uncle's John Deere 4020, I think it is. And yeah, so he drags this big old box blade behind that huge tractor, and it handles it way better than the 8N, right? So the 8N is not the best tractor for box blade work, I think, in general, but definitely not this huge heavy duty box blade that's meant to be pulled behind a way bigger tractor than my little 8N, right? So it does struggle with it when the whole box gets really full and I'm still digging. It does start to spin out, and it's not the best box blade for the job. I've been waiting to pick up a lighter duty 5-foot box blade, so hopefully around in like the, I don't know, 350 to 400 pound range from Tractor Supply, not to mention a foot shorter or a foot smaller than this box blade is, to do more dirt work with. I think I could get a lot more done with a proper sized box blade. But this is going to do for now, because Tractor Supply hasn't had one in stock since I bought my tractor. Not my local one. I'd have to drive an hour and a half to go pick up the right size box blade. So this is what I'm using now. I'm just borrowing it, and hopefully soon I can get that 5-foot box blade. But yeah, overall the 8N does a pretty dang good job, even with this oversized box blade, really big 600-pound box blade. Too big for the tractor, honestly. So as I already mentioned, this wasn't the best tool for the job, but trying to make do with what we got, and it did a pretty good job. It flattened this area out pretty well, and just another example of what kind of work the 8N can do. Now, I might say that this is a little bit borderline, I don't want to say abuse, but it definitely is really strenuous on the tractor. So getting the right size box blade and everything is going to do the tractor a lot more good than the one I'm currently using. And yeah, so I definitely wouldn't be able to get away with it forever, and it is a pretty hard task on the tractor. But it's a little tractor, but it's a good tractor, and I still think it's worth keeping around and using, especially if you got a small little farm homestead thing that you're wanting to work on, just like my goal is for this thing. And I think it does the job. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for listening through all of my ramblings and everything. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and as always, go down and click subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, I would really appreciate it if you did. We'll see you in the next video.